Have you ever started a race too hard and then died 1,000 deaths to get to the finish line? Yeah, it's a story told over and over and over again. No matter if you're a time trialist, specialist, triathlete, a mountain biker, cyclocross racer, road racer, runner, swimmer, whatever you're doing in the endurance world, blowing up is a story told time and time again. But great news, with a device like this, a Garmin or Wahoo head unit and a power meter, we can dial you in to really try to ever prevent that from happening ever again. So here we go. As mentioned, it's for everybody. Most pacing is often associated with time trial specialists, but again, it's for any endurance athlete, right? Runners, trail runners, mountain bikers, anybody. And so we can dial you in using your Garmin head device. And this is part one of a two-part series. All right, so here's your Garmin head unit. And this is what I love to look at. So when I go out and work out, the Garmin head unit has a million different screens. I only use very few fields on one screen. And so basically here are my fields. So this is your lap time, your 3-second power, your heart rate, your cadence, and your lap power. So it's not your average power, it's your average lap power. Okay. And so how can we start learning how to use this screen right now? Because pacing is really all about time. It's all about balancing your 3-second power, your lap power, and how all of this relates to your heart rate and your cadence. Okay. So here is a great example. Right now we're in the fall base period. We got a great workout that looks something like this. Tempo 2x20. So what does that mean? How can we use our power meter and these screens to help dial you in? Okay. Well, first thing we're going to do is, what is our tempo, right? So our tempo, my tempo is somewhere between 250 to 290 watts. And so on this workout, I want to practice pacing on these 2x20 intervals, meaning that I want to start this, somewhere, on this day, I think, let's just say 200, and let's aim for 250 watts. Okay. Let's lower tempo. That's what we want our average watts to be. Okay. For this interval. All right. So basically let's jump in and let's see how this works. All right. So you get a great warm up and then you get to wherever you're outdoors or you're indoors and you're doing your 20-minute interval, so basically what I like to do is when you start an interval, you usually do start a little bit too strong, right? So here I'm at 2 minutes. My power is at 3 seconds. Power is 260 and it's been at 260 for 2 minutes. Now, of course, 3-second power, it's going to fluctuate quite a bit, right? But here's what we want to really dial into. We want this lap power, our average watts, right? So at 2 minutes, I'm a little high. Remember, my goal is 250 watts. So by minute 3, I'm going to bring this back down to 250, my 3-second power slowly, right? And so that my lap power slowly goes back down. So right now we're at 255. And then by the end, we're at average watts of 250. And so now what did this look like in terms of my power? This is the interval that we're talking about. And you can see that because I used the lap screen and I used these fields, I didn't go out way too hard and die 1,000 deaths for my power meter, right? I started a little hard, but I just rocked it out pretty smooth. And for those of you familiar with a concept called variability index, which I talk with my clients all the time, I had a VI of 1.0 for this 20-minute segment, which means I paced that segment perfectly, which means I dialed in my energy system for that segment And I used that segment, right? I used that energy system. I wasn't going way too hard, VO2 max, and then down here, and then VO2 max, and then down here. That might be a specific type of interval, but that was not what this interval was designed to do. This 20-minute interval at tempo was just that, to teach me to ride tempo for 20 minutes according to a certain energy system. And as you can see, I rocked it out. Now, how does pacing work, right? On an actual race day event. So here is an Ironman course that I did, a half Ironman course that I did and paced and used my power meter to pace this course. That will be part 2 of this 2-part episode on pacing. If you want to reach out to me, Lee Sandstead. I'm a coach. I love to talk about this stuff. Here's my contact information, lee@pro13.com. Pacing is absolutely crucial to learning how to ride, learning how to train, learning how to race. And it is something that's truly dear to my heart. It's something that we can really talk about, really strategize. But, this is, if you just go by those fields on your Garmin, on that head unit, and start thinking about that interplay between 3-second power and average lap watt power, you're going to really dial in your cycling for 2022.